Alright, I'm going to give just a quick update because my camera kept dying and I didn't have batteries to replace them. Transmission's in, I've got the shifter in, clutch pedal and I guess wiring harness plug is kind of in. Just got to set the wires aside and put them where they need to go. Kind of show you what I had to do the inside. To get the shifter box in, you have to take the downpipe off. So the downpipe is over there, and then you have to take this heat shield completely down, at least far enough to get the box out of the way. But it was a nightmare. You know, I see all the forms and files and everyone's write-ups, and they're like, oh yeah, we just did this and that, and you might have to do a little bit of extra work, but this is something else. You have to remove pretty much, and I found this out the hard way, you got to remove this piece here, the shifter boot trim piece, unplug everything, and then it should just fall down. That should just fall down if you have everything underneath, like the downpipe and all detached. I got it loosely mounted right now just so I could kind of test it, but it is somewhat secure. Pedals over there. I need to put one nut on there, but you got to take out this piece right here to get that top bolt or top nut in. There's just no room otherwise to get it, so you got to take out from the interior, but that's really no big deal. I've done it before. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. I'll kind of go through what I got now. So if you're looking at the back two bolts on this shifter, in between them is a hole in the chassis, and there's a hole in the shifter box itself. So what I assumed is that this lines up with itself. So if this hole in the shifter box is concentric with this hole in the chassis, it should be, theoretically, lined up. However, there's one over here that is not, so I'm going to loosen these back up, because the placement of this is very important, otherwise your shifting's going to be off. Alright, let's bleed the clutch. Okay, so I know it's super bright in here, but I put the 2 wires that I'm gonna have to need over here from the clutch switch. So this one right here is going to go to the CECM. I don't know what it stands for, but that's what it says in the wiring diagram. Okay, if you look right here where there should be 3 plugs right here where this white one and yellow one are. Plug labeled E, that connector E. Now they're gonna have labels on them. I can't see it right now, so I don't know which one it is. But you're gonna locate pin number, or connector number E, connector letter E, pin 7. There should already be a wire attached to it, I hope. If not, I'm gonna have to wait for another pin terminal. But I've got some ordered for my ECU and I'm waiting on those. But you're basically just gonna tap into that wire in one of those connectors. This silver wire, this one's gonna go into the fuse box. So I have somewhere over the rainbow, maybe, I don't know what I did with them. Ooh. I've got these little fuse taps. So I'm gonna pick an accessory fuse, tap into it, and then basically splice the wire, or connect the wire here. So I'm gonna go in the driver panel. Okay, so this second 10 amp fuse, right here, that goes to, kind of hard to read it, but it goes to the light switch, brake lamp switch, ABS control, fuel pump control module. So this one should be on the minute this one should turn on the minute I turn the key. So I'm gonna go with pin number 2, or I'm gonna go with fuse number 2, and hopefully that should work. Oh, I wish I could open the door more. Come on. There we go. You're gonna put this where the fuse originally went. Plug in your fuse here. So now you have your fuse and your output. You should always get a 12-volt signal. Just a quick tip, if you're ever doing any sort of wiring or splicing or anything like that, these little, I got these for probably like 20 or 30 bucks, Titan crimpers. They are ratcheting crimpers. Basically, you're gonna have your standard yellow, blue, and red connectors. You just squeeze down on it, tighten it, and you're good to go. Alright, so after one little crimp, this is on there nice and tight. Won't go anywhere, so I'm gonna push this wire back, kind of give it some slack, and then move on to the next. Alright, I'm gonna try to record what I can here. I'm gonna get the OBD2 bracket out of the way, just so that I can get my hand up in there easy. Just the Torx 20, and it should drop down. So just like that, that'll be out of the way now. Still need to hide that wire better. Listen, when I tell you this has been a job, everything that I need to get to is behind at least 40 more pieces. So I had to take that trim off. I unbolted it on the bottom. There's a bolt or a screw right here. Problem is, guess what? Your cluster's in the way, so you gotta pull the cluster out. Well, guess where that is? Looks like 2 screws. Alright, so it was those 2 screws, and you just kind of have to wiggle it back and forth until it comes out. You may have to pull on it a little harder than you want. It'll probably make a popping sound that will discomfort you, but it comes out with those 2 bolts on the bottom. Just kind of wiggle it out and pull it. So, yes, you have to take off that bolt that I took off earlier. Also have to take out the light switch, because there's a screw right there. I didn't know how to take out the light switch, so that was probably my downfall. But what you have to do essentially is turn it to off, push it in, and then turn it to the, like, a little bit past the on symbol, and then just pull it out. Alright, so here's a little update. Got some new stuff in the garage. I feel like every time I come in here, like the next day, I bring more stuff or buy more stuff. Picked up a little light. This one actually plugs in, so I don't have to worry about it dying. Wire nuts, because I didn't have any yesterday when I spliced the wire. These are really handy. These are actually like a quick splice. So you put it on the wire you're trying to splice, put the other end in there, clamp it down, and it's pretty much like a really quick splice. We're getting real close. I spent about an hour and a half taking apart my interior for no reason, because I thought that I had to get into there to get connector F. Well, no, I needed connector C, which was actually that one. And I think I'll need either connector B or A to get the reverse light. But yeah, I thought it was F. There is no F on this chassis, so I spent an hour and a half taking all this apart for nothing. Good God, that's bright. Alright, so that light's pretty much like my background light, and then this is going to be like my spot focus light. We've got two wires that I need to basically wire nut. This one and the one back there that's kind of hanging there. These are kind of my preference, the blue and orange. But I'm going to connect this, or splice these together, tape them up, and then put the connector back in, and then I'll do the reverse switch connector as wire connector as well. So I'm going to try to knock out both of these, put this entire interior back together. Hopefully I can move towards putting on the downpipe. Yeah, that's the goal. I'm just trying to knock out as much as possible before this ECU pin terminal gets here. That way that's the only thing I have to do, pin it up, and then the car should start. So I'm hoping to get literally everything done, because everything mechanical is done on the car now. I just need to get the downpipe on, and then basically put everything back together, and it should be ready to rock and roll. Alright, just a quick update. So here is the reverse switch. So I'm just going to identify which one is pin 1 and 2. Also, I'm going to undo my TCM, go ahead and unhook it and take it off the car, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. Alright, so this is where I'm going to wrap up for the day. The interior is back together. For the most part, I've got the OBD2 to put back together. I still need to wait on that wire terminal for the reverse switch pin, and then I'll put that back together. I've got the clutch switch and reverse switch power tapped in. Oh, it's hot in here. I've got the TCM out of the car. Where'd it go? Put it somewhere. There it is. So that's out of the car. I went ahead and cut the harness. Next time, I'm going to get as much of the transmission harness cut and disconnected. I'm told that you have to use a black and purple wire grounded, which is, I think, either this one or that one. It's this one right here. But they say it has to come off of the gear selector plug, which is actually down there. It's either a white and purple or a blue and purple. There's no black and purple on this plug. So I'll get with some people and see what they say. Got to put the RPM sensor back on, and yeah, a couple more wires and then we're done.